Greetings and welcome to another edition of Prescott Talks with your host, David McNabb. And we are going to be talking with our special guest today, Patrick Wellert, who is the principal of the Agribusiness and Equine Center High School in Prescott Valley. So Patrick, welcome, and thanks for being here and spending some time with us.
It's an honor to be here. Thank you.
Okay. Well, let's start off by just talking a little bit about yourself and your background, and
Of course.
get that out there.
Yeah. Well, as he said, my name is Patrick Wellert, and this is my 22nd year in education. I was an ag teacher at Chino Valley High School for 11 years and set off and got my master's from the Northern Arizona University, and I became a principal. This is my 11th year. So I taught for 11 years at Chino Valley. And then I stepped right into a role as a principal, helping open this new school, and that's been there now for 11 years.
Okay, so was your master's in administration?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked. I actually have two masters. The first one is it's educational technology. I thought that's what you needed to be a principal, so I signed up and got it, and I got the degree. And I remember my father saying, "Well, what are you going to do now?" And I go, "Well, I'm going to go back and get the master's I need to be a principal," because I found out about the last the last class that's it.
Yikes.
So, and of course, a master's in educational technology from, 11, 12 years ago, it's probably not going to help me much now. So, I got my undergrad degree from the University of Arizona in agriculture education. And so that's what I taught. So when this position became open, it just seemed like a natural transition, natural fit to work at an agricultural-based high school where we have horses. And then I found out that we have college experience for these kids here where they can take actual college classes and get their associate's degree from Yavapai College before they can even graduate high school. I was like, how does that work? And what is that?
Wow.
And so it is a wonderful place, and it's a huge blessing that I'm able to be there. And it's just been a real honor to serve the community, not only for 22 years, but especially the last 11 years here at AAEC.
Okay, AAEC, and that stands for Agribusiness and Equine Center High School. Did I say that right?
Yeah, the Agribusiness and Equine Center. Yes, that is correct.
Okay. And that's in Prescott Valley, and it's over by the Civic Center. Yeah,
right by the Civic Center. It's kind of it's one of the better kept secrets, if you ask me, about Prescott Valley, because we're off the path of Glassford Hill a little bit, kind of tucked back in there. As we know, Prescott Valley is growing up all around us, and it's a really cool to have that partnership with the town of Prescott Valley, as well as, have the police department right across the street. And of course, all the kids appreciate being able to go to Maverick and Walmart after school or in between their schooling, from the high school to the college as well. So, and we're very close to the Glassford Hill Yavapai College campus, about a 10-minute walk, which is really good for the kids too. Okay, now you're a charter school. Correct.
So it's public, but it's different than the district schools.
Yes.
And is transportation totally on the kids?
Yes.
So you're not providing transportation?
That is correct. The parents are responsible for taking their students to and from school. We also don't have a lunch program. And I found that's not really that much of a problem because a lot of the kids usually like to pack their own lunch and pack stuff throughout the day. So the kids bring their own lunch every day as well. And that's just one of the things of, it's kind of an honor to go to our school because it takes the whole family, making sure that we're getting you to and from the school, and then did you bring your lunch today, or things like that. So it's a really cool little experience for the families to be able to do, and it helps. I think it's really important, that the parents have those conversations to and from school. What'd you do at school? How was it? And and I really appreciate grandparents, aunts, uncles, and people like that are coming and going, bringing their kids and their family to and from.
Yeah. Great to see, the whole family participating in that sports system that we need.
Yeah.
So tell us about the origins. Now, I understand this is school. It's not just one school. It's a group of schools. Tell us about the origins.
Yeah. So it all started with our wonderful director in 1997, Linda Proctor Downing. And she had a vision of students who would be able to get their college degree and be able to graduate high school relatively at the same time. Well, she had a huge passion for agriculture and equine as well. And so she wanted to incorporate that in there. And that's why you see our 5 campuses down in Phoenix and then our one in Prescott Valley. And that's why you also see horses on our campus, which It is unheard of. I've never heard of a place
No.
where you have horses on campus. So
Yeah.
down in Phoenix and up here, we have the same opportunities, and we have partnerships with the Maricopa Community College system down in Phoenix, and up in Prescott, obviously with Yavapai. And then we have horses on each of the campuses as well, which is a huge bonus. I'm a huge fan of the horses on campus.
It can be a little smelly sometimes, but it's great to have horses on campus. It's a huge benefit. And how many of the kids take part in the equine part?
I would say probably about 10% of our students do the equine program,
Okay.
maybe about 15 if I'm going to push it. Right now we have about 40 to 50 kids that throughout the day, they go to, let's say, English first hour and then maybe history second hour. Maybe their third hour is where they go out and they learn about riding the horses, grooming the horses, taking care of them, and doing all of those types of experiences that maybe they wouldn't experience if they grew up in a neighborhood or an apartment or things like that. But like I said, we have 330-ish students on campus. So it's really a small percentage that do the equine program. Not that you have to, it's an elective choice. So it's a choice that the students could make of wanting to come to our school to take those elective courses in horsemanship.
Okay, great. And they get to ride the horses as well?
They do. They get to ride the horses and they also get to clean the stalls. They get to learn about caring for all the horses. I mean, how many young men and young women have said, "Oh, I want a horse," or even "I want a cat, I want a dog," and then their parents say, "Well, you got to take care of the dog or the cat." and so now with the horses, they have to learn to take care of the horses, clean up after them, feed them, water them, and care for them. Yeah. I think they're some of the best kept horses in Prescott Valley because they get groomed and ridden probably 4 or 5 times a day, and then of course fed twice a day too.
Well, that's great. And is there an instructor with them when they go out and ride the horses? At all times and stuff?
We have a horse instructor who's been trained to help and give lessons to the students and work with the students. I was out there actually this morning, and he was teaching the students how to saddle and unsaddle a horse properly. And so they had a horse tied up there, and each student took turns with the saddle, putting it on, cinching it up, and making sure that it was being safe to ride.
Awesome. How many horses do you have on campus?
Right now we have 6 horses on campus, and not counting the babies though. So if we count the babies, we have 9 because we just had 3 that were born in April. And one of them was actually born on our campus in April. So it's pretty cool. Yeah. So what a great experience for the kids to see a horse being born on campus.
Yeah.
And to be able to learn how to, they see the horse grow, and then how do you train up the horse? How do you work with the horse to become comfortable around people? And so it's been a great experience for those students.
Oh, I bet. That's awesome. And for the agribusiness elective, you have a greenhouse, and what are you growing there? Yeah,
so we have a greenhouse, and right now, if I'm not mistaken, we just we're cleaning up. It's becoming winterized, if you will, because there's not a lot that's going to be able to grow over the winter. Even in the greenhouse, we usually don't grow a lot there. But we start planting seeds in the spring, and we'll have a variety of house plants that we'll have. We'll have tomato plants. We'll have cucumbers, things like that. And then what we'll do is we'll grow those up in the greenhouse, get a nice start on them, and then transplant them into our outdoor garden.
Okay, great. So kids that are taking that agribusiness elective get to learn how things grow, how you make them grow, how you make them grow better.
Yep.
And they're taking a specialized course for that.
They are, and they learn about all of the science behind what makes a plant grow. They study different types of leaves. A few weeks ago, they were on campus collecting insects, and they were identifying different types of insects and whether they were harmful or beneficial to the agricultural community. And so that was a very cool experience to see them do it. I saw a lot of them go out to the orchard and bring back a variety of insects when I was observing that teacher, and it was very cool to see them get some of them were grossed out because they were insects, but most of them were pretty happy to participate and get outdoors and be able to do a fun outdoor activity.
Yeah, that sounds great. And what's the average class size for your charter school?
I would say right now we're running about 25, 26 with the idea that we have some classes that are in the high teens. So we have plenty of room to grow and to keep growing. As soon as it hits about that 25 number, I really get a little nervous because I like that small class feel, that small school feel, if you will. So then we'll just open up and create a new section and stuff like that. When I started 11 years ago, we only had about 6, 7 teachers on campus, and we've since grown to 19 staff members at this time. So we've been expanding and growing, and there's still room for a few more, if you ask me.
Yes, it's, the district schools have usually 33, 35 kids in there, and they're packed into this room, and the charter schools are so much nicer to have a smaller group to work with. They get more private attention from the instructors, and instructors can pay a lot more attention to them on an individualized basis when they're a smaller classroom size. So, they're just getting a better education.
Yeah, and I think that teacher to student ratio is very important, and I understand that it may not always be feasible for some places, but I'm very, very privileged and happy that we're able to do it at our campus. And as a former teacher myself, it's been very important to have that relationship with students, and you're able to establish that a little bit more and get to know your students better when there's less of them in the classroom.
Right. And you taught agriculture at Chino Valley High School.
I did.
And how does the agriculture program at Chino Valley differ from the charter school that you're principal of now?
Oh, yeah, sure. Well, the agricultural program at Chino Valley is wonderful. They have the 52-acre farm there. They have a beautiful welding facility and welding shop. Yeah. And we also had an aquaculture lab and a state-of-the-art greenhouse when I was there. Now, I'm not sure if those still exist there or not, but those we called land labs. And so it allowed us to get out and do a lot more hands-on activities. Where at AEC, we do have land labs and we do have outdoor facilities, but we don't have a welding shop or anything along those remarks or anything along those lines, I should say.
You have to be a big school to really have those extra amenities.
Yes, you definitely do. And same with like automotive and stuff like that. So you see some of those larger high schools, they're able to offer more CTE-based electives and stuff like that. But at our school, our main focus is going to be the ag business, the early college, and then, of course, the equine program.
And how do you like being principal as opposed to teaching?
Well, I didn't know how I would like it. I always knew that I would sit back and when I was a teacher, I would have conversations with principals, whether I agreed or disagreed with them. And I found that the biggest difference in influence on how I was doing in the classroom and how the students were doing was the principal and how they were approaching things and how they led and how they did that. So I was very nervous to see, when I would step into that role, how I would do. And I found that it came very natural and I really enjoyed it. And I really liked being in charge. Even though there are days where it looks like I'm not having fun, I still am. And I just like being there, especially helping the teachers who then in turn are helping the students. And I find that I feel like I'm making an even bigger difference as a principal than I ever did as an ag teacher, because I'm able to help those teachers who then in turn and help those 25 students with whatever they're doing. And it's great to work with all of the staff that we have. And I have a lot of positive interactions with the students on a daily basis, which I thoroughly enjoy as well.
Yes, and I've had the privilege of being on campus at times with you, and notice that you take a lot of personal contact with the students.
I do.
You seem to know all of them by name and their problems.
I do. One of the best compliments I got from a young lady is, Mr. Wellert, I don't like it here because you're always in our business and you always know what's going on. And I said, yes, that's my job. That's what I should be doing, Yeah, so I really do, because I especially like working with high schools because I enjoy watching the positive change and positive growth from when they come in as freshmen to then hearing where they're going to be going as seniors, and then after they've been through college, coming back and visiting, or maybe they come home over the Thanksgiving break and they stop in and say hi. And I just really enjoy helping those young people meet their goals and then exceed.
Yeah, and in a smaller school, the principal can take that time to personalize and know these kids and know how to help them one-on-one, which is, I think you're doing an awesome job of.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate the compliment.
And that's what kids need. And I just compliment you for that.
Thank you.
Would you, we only have a minute left, but can you just say whatever it is you'd like to say about the school
Sure.
that we haven't covered already?
I think we've covered a lot. I know that we have a website available. If you want more information, you can go to aachs.com. There's a little link that you can click on that says Prescott Valley. It'll take you right to our page and you can get updates there. I also have an excellent office staff that would be happy to answer any questions that you may have. 928-775-3200.
Are you accepting new registrations for students all the time, or only during the beginning of the school year?
Yeah, we are available for, right now we're focusing primarily on 8th grade students who are going to make that change and go into high school. So we're having our next 8th grade open house night is going to be on November 30th at 5:30. So we're going to have
November 30th, 5:30 at the school.
At the school.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay.
and it's just 5:30 to 7.
Okay.
Come and just tour the campus, meet our teachers, and it'd be a wonderful experience.
Okay, great. And the name of the school plus the website and the phone number is on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
So you can call if you're interested about your child or grandchild going to this school, and I highly recommend it. It is a jewel in our area. So thank you, Patrick, for being with us today on Prescott Talks.